So one who has taken birth will die. Can we agree on that? I believe so. But of course, modern science, or the propaganda is, I said the propaganda is, not the science. Propaganda in the name of science may say, yes, in the future we will conquer death, we will conquer disease, we will conquer old age. This is propaganda, PR false promises. They will not be able to save us in that way from birth, death, old age and disease. It's heavy. We're living in the material world. I think the Beatles said we're living in the material world. Well, that means there's birth and there's death. Jonathan Swift, the author of Gulliver's Travels, he made one of Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver's traveled to 4 different continents. And one continent was the continent or the land of the scientists. Amongst other things, there were scientists there. And I think they had a democratic system also. It was kind of, everything was backfoot in that country. And in that country, there were some people who didn't die. And they had a red dot in the forehead, like the Bill Needs described, for some reason he said. And then those people were people who didn't like to be around them, because they never died. How old? One thing is not to die, another thing is to stay forever young. Who can change the laws of material nature? No one can change them. Thing and new gets worn out, one point it falls to pieces and is composted, in best cases. So our bodies, the bodies take birth, we live a while, we grow up, we live a while, we may have children, we grow old and we die. And then Krishna gives the good news in the Bhagavad Gita. The good news of Bhagavad Gita is that for one who has taken birth, death is certain. For one who has died, birth is certain. Okay. Says, okay, Haribol. You say, happy birthday. You say, happy birthday. You will take another birth. It's not the end of the story. So they have a little bit different perspective than modern science, because they want to make us immortal in this body, and that's an illusion. So we say there is birth after death, and then you take birth and then you die again. So Krishna says, what's the point? We're taking repeated birth and death. From one point, in a modern context, it may be for some a relief, okay, there's a soul, I'm not going to die. For me it was a relief, wow, great. There's yoga, there's meditation, there's prayers, there's a way of elevating your consciousness, you can take a better birth in next life. Sounds good. Because ignorant of that, we may think, I don't care, I just enjoy my senses now. I know what I have now, but I don't know what I'm going to have in the future. So that's just don't care about the laws and principles, just enough to get by, okay. But that is maybe the worst path to go, because it brings about the bad karma. And then people will say, no, there is no life after death. It's just an illusion. Let's just enjoy now. Of course, they don't want to die, because subconsciously, or whatever, on some level, we know, everyone knows that the death is not the end. On some level, they know that, because that's a fact. And thus, they want to deny the life after death. Because another thing, if there's a life after death, or if the continuation after death, then the great danger is, it's one thing that you go on, that can be good news. I don't know if it's good or bad news, but the point is that you may be held responsible for your actions. Specifically as a human being, you understand, as a human being, we will be held responsible for our actions in our life. During our life, we are held responsible, and after our life, we're also held responsible, whether we like it or not. So, well, I'm getting away from the responsibilities. You're getting away from the responsibilities? No, but they will come after you, after the next life. after death. Now I'm scaring you a little bit here. So the point is, so of course, a good way is saying, no, there is no life after death, okay, it doesn't say. But we say there is life after death, and it does make a difference what we do with our life here and now. We should live a responsible life, because then it became a responsible person and do my duties nicely and I earn a place in heavens. But then Krishna says that's not good enough. Okay, we may be good people and we get a good existence in next life. And Krishna says, okay, he says, still there's a problem. That even if you may go to a higher destination, it still has a beginning and an end. As long as he is within the frame of, say, karma, good and bad action. A good bad action, I get a bad result, I get good action, I get a good result. But you're getting a result, and in order to harvest the fruits of your action, you have to take another birth. That's the philosophy, that's understanding. Now, Krishna says, from the top, Abhrama Bhavana Loka, he says, from the topmost planet to the lowest planets, it's all places of misery where repeated birth and death take place. So now we're sitting in the great country of what? Denmark, okay. Could have been Sweden or USA or Croatia or even Serbia, somewhere. But we think, some people think then, if I come to Denmark, that will be nice. And then the Danish people say, no, we don't want any more immigrants here. We want to enjoy ourselves here in this country. Okay, but you get to a better country with better economy and better this and that, but still, there's birth and there's death. That does not save you from old age, disease and death. And there may be better hospitals, but still you get sick. What's the use of these hospitals? People are still getting sick. It should be, instead of, in Swedish we say sjukhus, I don't know what to say in Danish.
Sjukhus.
Sjukhus. A sick house. What's the use of houses for sickness? We should have houses of health. Health house. You don't need a sick houses, you need a healthy houses. Healthy life. Okay, so you come to Denmark, or you come to any other place, and someone comes and thinks, oh no, I'm going to enjoy life. Yeah, you may enjoy life, you still get sick, you still get old, and you die. Okay. So Krishna says, in that way, even on this planet, we have different categories, we have like different, this is a nice country, that a nice social security, and this or that, and this is a bad country, there is no social security. Yes, but maybe there's better social networking in the country without the social security. Okay, so the point is, whether this country, that country, there's birth and there's death, and that's a problem. So, and even if you manage to qualify to enter these better places, still there's birth and death. So Krishna says, you may want to go to the heavens, to the paradise. Krishna says, sorry, there's birth and there's death. That's a problem. And we understand by our good action, okay, let's say, I go for vacation on Canary Islands. Very nice. But how long can I stay? Depends how much I have in my bank account. And when the karma is over, when the money is over, I have to come back to do my work. So in that way, the earthly sphere here where we are, this is a place where we work. And we may work up a good karma and go to the heavens, but then we will have to come back and then again work up a good karma. We may also create some bad karma, by the way, and go in the lower regions of existence. Okay, so Krishna says this is a problem. The problem is birth and death. So then some say, well, let's use contraceptives. Well, that doesn't solve the problem. We don't want birth. Well, what about your own birth? Because then we can speak about karma, killing, and you killing and then getting killed and all these kind of things. We're living in actually terrible society because there's so much killing on all levels. Okay, so Krishna says that the solution is not to just to create a good karma. We say good karma is good, it's better than bad karma, but the real thing is akarma, that karma that liberates us from all reactions, that action that brings us out of actions. Action that is not materially motivated. So we say, okay, I want to be a good man, and you're not going to be materially motivated. Well, that may also be a material motivation. Someone wants to whether liberate his country or this or that on a material platform, but still, that is not enough. So the real solution, what Krishna says, is we need to get out of the cycle of birth and death. And to do that, we have to have a transcendental, a spiritual consciousness. And what we now speak about the transcendental consciousness means to understand that there is God, there is Krishna. Okay, we call God, or the Supreme, Krishna. You may call him something else, Allah, Jehovah, or Jesus, or something. It's okay with us. The name may be different, but basically the object is the same. So now, instead of working for our own benefit, in individual, family, or nation-wise, or maybe for species, to do it good for all human beings on this earth, still we work for the good of God, of Krishna. And that is a little bit like you want to do good for a tree, okay? So everyone knows how a tree looks like. There's many branches and leaves and flowers. So we may go and water each and every the plants here. Okay, let's take this plant here. So we may water each and every single leaf, but still that may not satisfy the plant because it needs water on the root. And with the root, water is going on the root, the whole tree is nourished. With one action, everything is nourished. So in the same way, Lord Vishnu or Krishna, he is the root cause of not just material, of the spiritual and material existence. So by giving our water, our life, or our devotion to Krishna, we are sort of watering the root of the tree. Now, it may not, now here I'm sitting, let's see now, kind of beats over there. I may just selfishly sit here and look at my beads around the leg or something. I may just sit here and selfishly, you monks, Hare Krishnas, you're just thinking about yourself. You're just chanting for your own liberation or something. You say, don't have no beads. You are new here, you should get some of this today. That's a recommendation. Okay, so we may selfishly sit here and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, that's quite good. Okay, I say, why not do something practical? Well, this is quite practical. We are calling on Krishna. We are kind of putting our mind towards the Supreme, Krishna. And that way we say, we're giving our devotional attention to him. And he accepts that. And when we do that, by that one action, many other things happen also. We become peaceful in mind, less agitated, mostly. We give up bad habits, no smoking, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. We become vegetarians. Just by becoming vegetarians, we do so good to this world. So that way, by one action, you accomplish so much more. But it may not be. You can one sense say it's not we who are doing it. We are just simply serving the one who is the cause of everything. We are not the. Okay, this also. We may think we're going to save the world. Someone said, I'm sorry, you can't save the world. first of all, save yourself. Then we may also be able to save others. Because in one sense, we may be saved. But with putting of consciousness in Krishna, we are actually accomplishing a lot. It comes to change in consciousness. And sometimes maybe that might also be a discussion nowadays, something changing consciousness, changing awareness. The real change is when we put our consciousness at Krishna, at God, at the Supreme. Because then we're not putting ourselves in the center, we're putting God, Krishna in the center. And then we can have peace. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhuktaranya Gatapasam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Suredam Sarvabhutanam, Yashramam Shantim Rishati. He says, let's see.
29.
Okay, this was third. Okay, fine. Okay, I got the wrong chapter here. Yeah, that's 6. This is a strange book. Sorry. I think it says. Okay, the person in full consciousness of me. So to be conscious of Krishna, that's Krishna speaking. God is speaking. It's the word of God, the word of Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's song. A person in full consciousness of me, conscious of Krishna, and that means to be conscious, knowing that we understand that knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifice and austerities. He is enjoyer. Actually, everything is meant for him. Or actually, he is enjoyer, not we. We are the servants. He is the supreme lord of all planets and demigods. He is the supreme controller. We may think we can control something, but actually, what can we control? If we can control our senses, then we're doing a good job. For the rest, we are kind of carried around in the karmic wheel, so to say, and think we are controllers, but actually we may not be that as much as we think. And then he is the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities. He is a friend of all living entities. So he is an enjoyer, he is a controller, and he is a friend. That's God, that's the Supreme. Being conscious of him in this way, then we can have peace. And don't worry, there will be enjoyment. There is enjoyment, no problem. Krishna is not envious. You're not going to get anything to eat, I'm going to eat. No. We have a system. First we offer to Krishna for him to taste, and then he's blessed. And then we can also taste the blessed food, and then we also get our satisfaction of our senses. We see beautiful things, we offer it to Krishna and connect it to Krishna, and then we can also look at it and enjoy it, so to say, or take that pleasure. Okay, so there is but we understand that first Krishna, then we can. And then the control of all planets and demigods. So we may think we control things, we want to control things, but actually we can't really control very much. I think I'm going to give a wonderful lecture here. Okay. You may think so. I'm going to manage, and usually I think, if I was the president of Denmark, then I would do this and that. Or the temple or something, Then you think, then things, I wouldn't do like that, but then mostly they just end up doing the same thing. So we're not really control us either. And then if I was a president of the United States, okay, then I would be friend to everyone. But you can't be friend to everyone. So we are not the ultimate friends. They can say, I'm going to be your friend, I'm going to help you. Okay, that's the delusion. I can't really help you. Because that's, well, we point to the real friend who can actually help you. And that's Krishna. God, the Supreme, He can help us. And He speaks the Bhagavad Gita to help us. And He says there's birth, there's death, and then there's birth, death. And He says, His solution is, think of me, become conscious of me. Becoming conscious of me, He says in the 8th chapter, you will come to me. And if you come to me, you will not take repeated birth and death. So that's the point, to get out of birth and death. And the solution to that is to think of Krishna, become a devotee of Krishna. In the 9th chapter, Krishna ends, Manmanabhava madbhakto madhajimam namaskuru mamevaishasi yuktvaevam atmanam matparayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me, Krishna says. So we, thus as devotees, we take our energy, our mind, and put it, directs us towards Krishna. So we, yes, thinking of Krishna, we become devotees of Krishna, means we maybe chant His name in prayer beads, study the words of Krishna, we try to dedicate our work to Krishna, and offer obeisances and worship me. We bow down to Krishna. We bow down, you've seen us maybe doing that. So yes, we are, Krishna is big and we are small, we surrender to Him. And worship Him, so we're going to see here, well, I don't know if we see before, no actually that's, yes, the worship is going to come here also. We're going to have a formal worship. That shouldn't be formal, okay? You can say that certain way, it should be done with love. That also we may say, oh, you should do this and that. Okay, the point is, we're worshipping also. And then Krishna, being completely absorbed in me. When we're fully absorbed in Krishna, we will come to Him. And coming to Him is not taking repeated birth and death. Now we speak of Krishna as a person, as the Supreme Person. And we understand, some say, well, how can God be a person? A person is limited, isn't he? Just like me. You're a limited person. Krishna is an unlimited person. He is a cause. He is a source. We are the cause. He is the cause and we are the cause. And then he said, the cause is present in the effect. We are affected by Krishna. And thus we share Krishna's qualities. And Krishna has no birth and no death. At least He makes His appearances, but He doesn't have birth and death in the way we have. He doesn't forget His previous lives or previous appearances. So in the Brahma Samhita says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Radi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Krishna is the Supreme Ishvara, the Supreme Controller. He is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is, I'm saying, Anadi Radi Govinda, how do you translate that?
The origin of everything?
He's the origin of everything, He's the